Some argue that, criminal or not, you behaved irresponsibly with our national security documents. For example, we've all now heard the audio tape of you, post-presidency, showing third parties some sort of document that you're describing as secret. Allegedly, it was a Department of Defense Mark Milley plan to attack Iran. Now, this was at a meeting right here at Bedminster, where we are now. You later told Bret Baier in an interview that you had no document that day, only newspapers and magazines. But we hear you on the tape. We hear you saying, quote, "Look, this was him. This was the Defense Department and him. It's highly confidential. This is secret. This was done by the military and given to me. As president, I could have declassified it. Now I can't. This is still a secret." Now, why would you describe a newspaper article as highly confidential and still a secret, saying as president you could have declassified it, but now you can't?
Let me just tell you something. Number one, I did nothing wrong because I come under the Presidential Records Act. The fascists who are going after me, and they're not going after Biden, even though he has about 10 times more documents, maybe more than that. He has documents going back 40 years or 50 years. We did nothing wrong. I come under the Presidential Records Act. I'm allowed to have these documents. This was done in 1978, and this was done for exactly this reason. I'm allowed to have these documents. The other side didn't even mention that. They don't even mention the words Presidential Records Act. The Presidential Records Act is very important. Bill Clinton took out in his Sox, it's called the Sox case,
I'm familiar,
where a very respected judge, very liberal judge, but a very respected judge, ruled in favor of Bill Clinton that he was allowed to take these very important documents, conversations with world leaders, took it out in his socks, and they found them in his sock drawer, and they call it the Sox case. Other people, too. We come under the Presidential Records Act. Now, who doesn't is Mike Pence doesn't, because he was a vice president, and he has a much higher standard. Joe Biden doesn't, because he was a vice president at the time and he was a senator. He's got thousands of documents as a senator. And even I watched a couple of Democrat senators say very strongly, there's no way he took that out from the SCIF. He's got documents and he's fighting them like crazy. I come under the Presidential Records Act. It's a very simple thing. Number one, it's civil. It's not criminal at all. True. These fascists and these Marxists and these people that are dealing, and they leak, and they're disgusting people. They're horrible for the country. We have a deranged guy named Jack Smith who's been overturned at the Supreme Court a number of times, and he gets overturned. You know why he gets overturned? Because he goes too far. They don't even mention the Presidential Records Act. This is all about the Presidential Records Act. I'm allowed to have these documents. I'm allowed to take these documents, classified or not classified. And frankly, when I have them, they become unclassified. People think you have to go through a ritual. You don't. At least in my opinion, you don't. But it's even beyond that, because the Presidential Records Act allows you to do, as president, only as president. Now, the other people that we talk about, including Biden, he wasn't president. So what he did is a different standard. And he should have real problems. They really should be talking about that, not about me. I did absolutely nothing wrong.
Okay, but let's get to my question. Why would you be holding up a newspaper saying this is still secret?
I'd have to look at it.
I could declassify it if I were president.
I would have to look at it.
But that's what you told Bret Baier. You told Bret Baier that that was a newspaper or a magazine.
I could have declassified. No, I also told Bret Baier, as I remember, I don't know, it was a long time interview.
Will you tell me, what were you waving around in that meeting?
I also told Bret Baier that it wasn't a classified document.
What were you waving around in that meeting? Because it certainly sounds like it was an attack
I'm not going to talk to you about that, because that's already been, I think, very substantiated, and there's no problem with it.
It hasn't been substantiated. Jack Smith says
Megyn,
it was the attack plan. And you told Bret Baier.
Let me tell you. Here we go again. I'm covered by the Presidential Records Act. I'm allowed to do what I want to do. I'm allowed to have documents. The Presidential Records Act is civil, not criminal.
That's true.
In any way, it's civil. True. And I'm covered by it 100%.
Can I ask you what you mean by that?
And this shouldn't even be a case. Now,
no, and I'm not trying to come at you criminally.
I'm trying to say. Of course you are. But listen.
No, I started off by saying,
Megyn, let me just
it's not about the criminal.
This should be a case for Biden, because he is not covered by the Presidential Records Act. This was, I guess, started because Richard Nixon kept documents. So did many other presidents. And so did presidents after. Bush kept documents. Obama kept documents. They all had, in fact, of all people, of all groups, the New York Times wrote a story The only power that NARA has is to say, please, 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 Mr. President, can we have these
The
documents?
National Archives.
Okay? Now, they may be able to sue you civilly, not criminally. They may be. They don't even have that power, probably. But they may be able. But
So
listen,
I get all that.
the New York Times.
I get all
wait,
that. But the obstruction case isn't about that. The obstruction
ready?
case says,
So
so even if you had the right to the documents, once you get the subpoena, you got to fork them over. The subpoena
ready?
said, give us anything with a
Are you ready?
classified marking. Go ahead.
This is just like the Mueller stuff. They create a fake crime, and then they say you obstructed. This is a fake thing that they've done. And then they say it's always obstruction. They say, oh, he obstructed, he this, he that. And you know what they call obstruction? When you fight them. When you fight them, they call it obstruction. So they create a fake crime because there was no crime, because I come under it. I don't want to sound boring to all of your many people. I hope you have a lot of people. You will. But you know what? They create a fake crime. And they did that with Mueller. They created a fake crime, a terrible fake thing that took 2 years. And then they said, all right, that's fake, but he obstructed. That's what they do here. They have a fake crime, and I didn't obstruct anything. Okay, next.
Well, that was my question, that, even if I think they're accusing me of a fake crime, if I get a subpoena, I have to comply. I used to practice law for 10 years. You got to comply. You got to fork over the documents and then fight.
I have been complied with everything. I have given more documents, and they came in, they raided Mar-a-Lago, probably illegally, okay? And we'll find that out. They took documents that they weren't even allowed to do, but they took documents, they took everything.
They found documents with classified
and I would have
markings.
given it to them. You know what? We had a meeting. I said, what do you want? And instead of doing that, because they're doing this for political reasons, the reason they're doing this is for election interference.
But let me just say, I don't dispute that, frankly. But the question is simply, your lawyers signed a certification saying they had turned over everything that was responsive. Then when the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago, they found documents that were responsive that had not been produced, marked classified.
I don't know what the timing is. Again, I'd have to check
That's
the time.
it.
I don't know. I just don't know the timing. All I know is I'm allowed to have those documents.
But once you get a subpoena, you have to turn them over.
I know this. I don't even know that, because I have the right to have those documents. So I don't really know that. These are Democrat fascists that are there to interfere with an election. And frankly, you can't say that they obstructed when they create a fake crime. So ready? In Russia, it was a fake crime. At the end, they said, oh, well, that's not working. But he obstructed because he fought us. So they create a fake crime illegally. By the way, illegally. The dossier was fake. Everything was fake. Yeah. And then they say, I fought them and I obstructed. This is the same thing. They have a fake crime. There is no crime. In fact, it's civil. It's not criminal.
That's true.
And so
they're saying that's why they say Espionage Act to make it criminal.
Oh, they make it Espionage Act like it's something
we'll be here all day
like
if we get
the
into
Spanish Armada is going to raid us. And look, the Espionage Act of 1917 has no impact on this. I am covered 100%.
I got it. There's a dispute about that, about whether presidential. Just so my audience knows.
I don't think there's any dispute that I'm covered under the Presidential Records Act.
Well, you're covered, but it's not clear that it allowed you to take all those documents. You can't say
it says what it says. You're allowed. And
do you believe that every CIA document that came to you as president was automatically yours to keep, no matter what?
I'm not going to answer that question
so
because
that's the dispute.
No, because I think it's clear in the document. The Presidential Records Act was a very complex thing that took a long time to do, having to do more with Richard Nixon because he kept everything. You know that, right?
Yeah, yep.
And they said, we don't want to have this anymore. So they did this. And these thugs and deranged people, they didn't even mention that. They never mentioned that. They never talked about that. They never said, gee, the Presidential Records Act. Do you know they don't even mention it? And everybody knows that I'm covered by that. So you can't have obstruction when they create. And we had that in Mueller. They created all of these phony deals and phony documents and the dossier, the fake dossier. And after it was created, it was all created. Then it was shown to be phony, and I won. But then they say, oh, it was phony. We did things illegally. But he obstructed. He obstructed because he hid this, or he said something, or he fought us. He fought us. No, Megyn, I did absolutely nothing wrong. And I wouldn't even be talking to you if I thought I did.
What's crazy is you're really accused of keeping documents and not turning them over when you were allegedly required to. But you're not accused of destroying any documents.
No, I didn't do that.
Hillary Clinton
them to anybody.
Hillary Clinton destroyed documents while under subpoena, and wasn't even charged. Never mind, didn't face 4 criminal trials.
That's right.
Does it make you angry?
Yeah.
When I saw the mugshot, I said, he's angry, and I get it.
Yeah, that makes me angry. So Hillary Clinton got a subpoena from Congress, which is your highest style subpoena. That's the ultimate subpoena. After she got the subpoena, not before. She didn't do it before, and oh, gee, I didn't know.
That's right.
She got a subpoena. After she got a subpoena, she burned and acid washed 33,000 emails, okay? And nothing happened to her. Nothing happened to her. And Comey got up, and he said, here's what she did. And he went through all these crimes. And he said, but no reasonable prosecutor would ever prosecute her. Well, I did nothing. I did nothing wrong. And they prosecuted me. She burned and literally acid washed, bleach bit, they call it. Very expensive process. Nobody does it because it's so expensive. Then she took her phones and they knocked the hell out of them with hammers. You know that, right? Mm-hmm. She took her telephones and they're knocking, and nothing happened. Yeah, there's a double standard in this country, and the people aren't standing for it. Yeah. People get it.
September marks the end of summer, single tear, and the beginning of a hectic time for many people. It can become difficult to schedule in your fitness goals, you know that, and it can be hard to relax after a long, busy day. A Michael Phelps swim spa by Master Spas offers time-saving convenience to work out in your own backyard, and it also offers the relaxing therapy of a hot tub to boot. Here's how it works. A Michael Phelps swim spa by Master Spas has a water current, so you can swim right in place. You don't need a big Olympic-sized pool, and do your favorite aquatic exercises. The water buoyancy relieves pressure on aching joints, and you can enjoy pure relaxation in the massage therapy seats. Michael Phelps swim spas come in a variety of sizes to complement almost any yard, even if it's a small one. Installation can take less than a day, and since it's heated, you can use it year-round in any climate. Michael Phelps swim spas are 100% made in the USA by Master Spas, the world's largest swim spa manufacturer. Go to masterspas.com. The month of September is Master Spas Global Sales Event. Listen to this. Put in the promo code MK to save yourself $2,000 on a Michael Phelps swim spa or $1,000 on a Master Spas hot tub. Masterspas.com. Promo code MK. Don't miss this sale. This is a good one. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.